Sigue en sintonía de nuestra programación.
En este momento inicia su programa Los Vientos del Saber. Carmen Piñeyro y Socario Abitabile estarán abordando temas de política, inmigración, finanzas, salud y muchos temas de interés para la comunidad. Llámanos en vivo al 1-888-900-2811, extensión 6, y haz tus preguntas al aire. ¡Comenzamos!
Muy buenas noches, mi querido público. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Nuevamente bienvenidos a Los Vientos del Saber. Good evening and welcome to Los Vientos del Saber. Tonight we have amazing people on the show because it's so important to get the information that is vital to our community, from schools, what our schools are doing, from the state level with Assemblyman Phill Ramos, with the Freeport Superintendent, Dr. Kishore Kancham, and school board member Maria Jordan Awalam, together with principal for Gibling School. I call her Mandy, but her name is Amanda Maldani, and our director of ELA, Glory Engel. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
So I want to say thank you for taking the time to each and every one of you, obviously through Skype, following the orders of the 6 feet and keeping our social distancing. And we're going to get started right away. So I'm going to introduce each one of you. Then you give a little brief history of who you are, what you do. So for the individuals that don't know who you are, you know who it is. And in addition, we also have my co-host Socario on the line. I know she's there somewhere. she'll come in soon. Nuevamente, le damos la bienvenida a todos nuestros invitados. Le doy las gracias a cada uno de ellos por sacar el tiempo de conectarse con nosotros esta noche para llevarle a cada uno de ustedes la información necesaria durante este tiempo y este virus de la pandemia del coronavirus 19. Tenemos con nosotros hoy el asambleísta Phill Ramos del Distrito 6 de la Asamblea Estatal de Nueva York. Tenemos al superintendente de las escuelas públicas de Freeport, el doctor Kishore Kancham. También tenemos a una persona conocida, la concejal de la Junta Escolar de Freeport, Maria Jordan Awalam. También tenemos a la principal de la escuela de Gibling en Freeport, la señora Amanda Maldani, y la directora de LA, inglés como segundo inglés como lenguaje de arte, la señora Glory Engel. Así que esta noche vamos a tener mucha información. Obviamente el programa es bilingüe. Algunas personas pueden hablar en inglés y en español, aquellos que saben, y lo que no, le vamos a traducir al español. So let's begin. Dr. Kancham, welcome to the show. If you can give a little brief history of who you are, what you represent, and then we will continue with the members of the Freeport School District, followed by Assemblyman Phill Ramos and his update. Buenas noches. Welcome.
Right. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you for inviting us to join you for this segment. So we really appreciate for the opportunity to be able to share with our formidable challenge that we are facing here locally and globally. And the foremost things that are being taken care here in Freeport, of course, in sync, in conjunction with everything that's going on around in Nassau County and also in New York State. The health and safety of our students, the well-being of our students, that's has been always our top priority in Freeport, regardless of the circumstances. And our approach here as a district has been always a holistic approach, taking care of the whole child. So right now, we are facing probably one of the greatest enemies that we have seen probably in decades. And the most important thing I would say is really what is happening right now in locally here in the state about everyone staying home, following social distancing. That's absolutely critical and important for the next few weeks to come. And I really urge families, everyone to continue the most important hygienic habits that we have been following for the last few weeks, including washing hands, making sure that we are definitely following social distancing. So that's the first part I would urge. And as a school district, certainly, we want to be really taking care of the education, continuity of learning education for our children, and also making sure that we are taking care of their sustenance. So I'm happy to say that on both fronts, we have been extremely successful. We have an amazing team here, the Freeport team. Every staff member, 1,100 plus change makers, the superheroes of Freeport School District have stepped up, which they always do every day, and making sure those needs are being met. So on the first level, on the sustenance level, making sure our children have both breakfast and lunch. So every day at two locations, New Visions Elementary School and Freeport High School, we have both these buildings open from 9:30 in the morning until noon time for our families to drive by and pick up both breakfast and lunch for their children. And today we had a high record, close to 1,100 meals that were served today. And also we were able to partner with Long Island Harvest. Long Island Harvest gave away another 420 meals that included a breakfast, lunch, and dinner that can really be able to survive for another 5 to 14 days for the families to use. And on the other hand, the district is virtually open. All the schools with their regular hours, they are operating online. So our schools are online, virtually open since last Wednesday, same school hours. Any parent, any family wanting to reach any office, they can call the regular numbers that they have been dialing, the emails that they have been sending, they can be using. And we're very fortunate that our e-learning platform has been in operation for the last few years. So from 5th grade to 12th grade, this district for the last few years has given out Chromebooks, and students, teachers have been engaged in Google Classrooms. But before we actually have stopped students coming to schools, we were able to push another hundreds of Chromebooks through 2nd through 4th grade. And so literally the district is over 97-98% online, all the way from 2nd grade to 12th grade. And we also
give me 1 minute. Let me translate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
no, no
totally
problem,
forgot.
no problem.
Yeah, right.
Mi gente, ese es el superintendente de las escuelas públicas de Freeport y básicamente en sumación lo que él acaba de hablar y explicar es que el distrito escolar ha estado abierto desde el miércoles pasado a través de la plataforma electrónica que el distrito ya tiene 2 o 3 años usando. Los estudiantes de 5º a 12 grado cada estudiante tiene una tableta de Chromebook y la han podido usar. Y la otra ventaja que hizo el distrito escolar fue añadir más tabletas para los estudiantes de 2º grado a 4º grado y siguen trabajando en eso. Él también recomienda que las personas se mantengan en casa, pero que sepan que todos los estudiantes están funcionando como si fuera un día regular de escuela, de clase normal. Y una cosa primordial e importante que está haciendo el Distrito Escolar de Freeport es que está proveyendo alimentos a los estudiantes todos los días de 9 de la mañana a 12 del mediodía en la escuela secundaria de Freeport High School y la escuela de Nueva Visión en la Rainer Street. Y lo que provee es desayuno y almuerzo. Y este miércoles, en conjunto con una organización sin fines de lucro, se donaron 1,200 comidas que tenía desayuno, comida y cena, que va a ayudar a la familia por una semana más. Okay, Kish.
Right.
Nandy, did I
you.
do good?
You know, you did a really good job with that translation. I know, I was like, let me make sure I didn't forget anything.
My colleagues, Mandy and Glory will elaborate a lot more, but there's tremendous amount of digital resources that are available online. Our teachers are directly in contact with our students, either by phone or by Google Classroom. So tremendous learning is happening. And the other important thing I just want to indicate is really as the number of cases are growing here in Nassau County and, of course, New York City and New York State, the first responders, the medical professionals, they all are going to be much more needed, and their services are going to be a lot more needed. So childcare arrangements have been made for the entire Nassau County. We have Freeport School District and other school districts. We have partnered together to bring childcare services for school-age children to first responders and medical professionals. That information is provided on the website, and there are 8 different locations in the Nassau County at no cost to those families that childcare has been brought to them. And all the hotline numbers, the tech support information, e-learning help, every piece of information is provided online, and we have been in communication directly with our families, community, through our emails, robocalls, the district app, push notifications. So many ways we are staying connected. I understand families are going through a lot of change from home. They have their own pressures, and the need of the hour is patience, flexibility, understanding, and staying healthy. So I'll come back later, Carmen.
Thank you, Kish. Básicamente, como ustedes escucharon al superintendente, él básicamente está diciendo que estamos en una época digital, que todas las personas están trabajando de la casa, igual que los profesores y padres y madres con sus hijos, y que hay que tener mucha paciencia en lo que todos trabajamos en conjunto, no solamente para sacar a nuestros jóvenes y niños adelante, sino también para proveer esa ayuda que necesitan toda casa familiar. Ahora déjame continuar, voy a saltar a presentar, que ya ustedes lo conocen, al asambleísta Phill Ramos del Distrito 6 de la Asamblea Estatal, para que nos hable brevemente de las cosas que está haciendo el Estado de Nueva York Y después, obviamente, vamos a regresar con él para hacerles algunas preguntas de qué podemos hacer en conjunto con el gobernador y todo eso, para continuar con Amanda y con Glory, y también con la concejal del Distrito Escolar, María Jordan Avalon, y obviamente Socario, si tiene alguna pregunta directamente para ayudar a nuestro público. Asambleísta.
Saludos, Carmen.
Buenas noches.
Gracias por otra oportunidad. Really happy to join you guys. You won't have to translate for me because I'm going to talk New York. Así nadie me va a entender. But, I just got in off the road. Esta situación, we have to stay positive. We've in my office, many of the areas that you're going to be talking about today, whether it's education, whether it's health, whether it's issues of infrastructure, whether it's transportation, whether it's people staying in their homes, all that, the buck stops with us in the legislature. And we're kind of the umbrella that has to try and keep society together and keep us up and running. La responsabilidad al nivel de Estado es más o menos todos los temas importantes que se trata de esta crisis. La educación, la salud, transportación, la cuestión de que gente que la gente no se puede sostener porque están en desempleo ahora. Todo eso, una parte nos toca a nosotros, el Estado, a tratar de trabajar y proveer alguna ayuda a la gente so that we can find a way to deal with this situation. Initially, when this happened, we were getting mixed signals. We had a president talking about the fact that within a week or two we would be down to no cases and that this was not a problem. And because of the fact that we didn't prepare early on and because this was not taken seriously, we got to a point where this started to catch like wildfire. And now we find ourselves in a crisis to try and reel this situation. Now, the community that I represent is Brentwood, Bayshore, and Central Islip, similar to parts of Freeport, to Hempstead, a lot of communities of color, and we're dealing with it. And one thing I got to say about our community is that even though we face the brunt of a lot of these things disproportionately, a lot of the problems, we are also the people who know how to adapt. We have had to adapt our whole lives. Regardless of what the situation is, we find ourselves in a new circumstance, in a new country, we don't know the language, we leave everything behind, have to make something for nothing. Our communities, we know how to do that. And we're dealing with it. And I see that throughout my community here. Really, I'm so proud of the way so many people have stepped up and are helping out in this situation. We at the state level had a problem in that it's difficult for people to find hand sanitizers, which is the one thing that everybody should have in their possession because it's on the front line of fighting this disease. If you touch something and you wash your hands right after, that's the best defense for you and your family. But people, you can't find sanitizer and you have businesses trying to gouge our people. Hay mucho negocio tratando de aprovechar y cuando, how do we say sanitizer in Spanish anyway? Desinfectante, ¿no?
Desinfectante.
Entonces hay muchos negocios que están cobrando, por ejemplo, $15, $20 para una botella de sanitizer. Sí se puede encontrar. Normalmente no se puede encontrar. Y entonces nosotros al nivel de Estado estamos batallando eso. Y tenemos ley ahora, el Attorney General está haciendo caso contra negocios que están aprovechando a la gente. Si usted ve eso, si usted ve un hand sanitizer por $40 o algo así, nos avisa y con mucho gusto mandamos a las autoridades ahí a hacer algo de la situación. So what we came up with at the state level was to produce, it's very easy to produce hand sanitizer. All you need is alcohol, aloe vera, and something else to give it a better smell. And it's mixed together. So what we did is we ended up going to the prisons, giving them a raise in, the prisoners a raise in what they earn they normally do different tasks and they're given salaries. And we gave them a raise to just focus on producing this. And we've been producing thousands of gallons of it. And the first shipment has already come to Nassau County and Suffolk County. First shipment of sanitizer. Now, those two counties, the first wave of what they received They're sending them to hospitals, to nursing homes, to health facilities, places that are the front line and the biggest risk. The second wave that we believe will probably be coming next week will go to nonprofits. So look for the nonprofits in your area if you want to get hand sanitizer next week or after that, and you could get it. The nonprofits will be giving it to individuals, so you can get it. In my area, I have Centro Civic, Pronto, and Adelante will be giving this out to the people once the second wave is received. But I found myself in a situation here where I have elected officials who shutting down their office, just closing their office, and everybody going home, not taking phone calls, not attending to the public. I felt an obligation to keep my office open. Now, clearly, I want to protect my staff, so I don't allow the public to walk in. But our phones are on, and anybody who needs help can call my office, and they've been calling. The situation is pretty overwhelming because we have, in addition to just needing sanitizer and everything, we have people who have come down with the virus, who are unemployed. We have people who have no food. Today, I got a call from someone who had an 8-month-old baby with zero formula for that baby. Found and has several other kids too. No food, no formula, and no diapers. Zero, nothing. And this woman has $500 in her savings and has a choice to pay the rent or buy formula or buy food for the kids. And we had to go over there and try and help her. So the other thing is, how do we get, I was trying to figure out, people can't wait. And if we wait several weeks for hand sanitizers, in the meantime, people are touching each other. They're going to the store. They're bringing this home. What do we do? So I searched high and low, and I found the source of hand sanitizers. And just out of private money, went and purchased loads of hand sanitizer. In the past 5 days, my wife and I, Angela, have been spent going house to house in my district, dropping off a package with hand sanitizer, vitamin C to protect people from their for their defense system, their immunity. A set of gloves in there and face masks. So everybody's been getting that. We've been getting overwhelming calls. 504 homes we have to go to. We still have somewhere around 140 left to go to. And then I'm working on getting more sanitizer. Hopefully that'll hold us over until the state sanitizer starts to come in. Now, one thing about our situation is that we at government, we have to find a way to test everybody. I'm sure many people listening here have said, well, I'd love to get tested. I have sniffles, or I have a sore throat, or I want to make sure my kid is not infected, or my parents are not infected. And they've called and they've been told, well, you don't have the symptoms, so we're not going to test you. We need to be able to test everybody. And I'm going to explain why. The reason why we need to test everybody is because we have to look further down to this crisis. We are paralyzed as a society now. Stores are closed. People don't have income. Infrastructure is closed down. Transportation is closed down. How do we get started? The way we get started is making sure that there is a number, actually thousands of people who have gotten this virus who don't even know that they had it. Some know that they had it and they got over it. Once you get the virus and you're over it, you're now immune to that virus. You can go out and work. You can go out and help people. You can go do anything you want. You can open up your store. You can be productive. You can start society rolling. But unless you know that, unless we're testing people, because many people don't even know that they had the disease. They had zero symptoms, but yet they're immune to it now because they got over it. They thought it was a cold and it was really coronavirus. If we don't test them, we're not going to know that they're immune, and they're not going to be free to start going on with their life as normal. So we have to find some way to step up the game. The federal government has to come up with more tests, and we need them at ground level here. It's a time, I don't want to take everybody's up time, but I've got to say it's a time that tenemos que cuidar nuestros vecinos. Es un momento donde todo el mundo tiene que extender la mano. El gobierno no puede resolver todo. Si uno está saliendo a la tienda y tú sabes que el vecino necesita algo, cómpraselo. Si Dios te dio la dicha y la bendición que usted tiene suficiente recursos para tu familia y te sobra, cómprale algo a tu vecino. Ese vecino no tiene que exponerse ahora a salir a buscarlo. We should all be lending a hand, doing our part to get through this, aside from embracing our faith, because we know that that is the one thing that will get us through this situation. I know you're going to have a lot of questions, and there's a lot more things I wish I could talk about, but we're limited time and we have other guests. But we're at your disposition. I just want to give my phone number, 631-435-3214. That is my phone number. So if anybody in the public, even if you're not in my district, if you need some help, please give me a call.
Thank you, Assemblyman Phill Ramos. Muchas gracias, asambleísta Phill Ramos. Más adelante vamos a regresar con usted. If anyone wants to call, you can call us at 1-888-900-2811, extension 11. Extension 6. And you can ask any questions to any of our guests. Or you can post your question on our social media platform on Facebook, and obviously we will answer those questions. Si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta o alguna inquietud, nos pueden llamar directamente al programa al 1-888-900-2811, extensión 6. O usted puede exponer su pregunta en nuestra plataforma social de Facebook y a través de ahí le vamos a responder su pregunta. So now, going back to the School District of Freeport and the great work that each and every one of you are doing, I tell you, not only as a Freeport resident, but as a mother of 3 children in our public school, I am super proud and excited of the work that all of the teachers are doing, all the sacrifices that you're doing. And I have to tell you, kudos to Mr. Kite, Miss Lancaster, Mr. Ellerby, Miss Castillo, Miss Awalam, and the entire administration staff of the school district, because I have to tell you that I've come and spoken across other school districts, and they're not even prepared the way that our schools have been prepared. And I mean, they're in shock to hear that the teachers are having Zoom meetings and reading to our teachers through the platform, and it's just absolutely excellent and amazing. Quiero personalmente darle las gracias al Distrito Escolar de Freeport, desde la Junta Escolar, al superintendente, a todos los principales, a todos los administradores, a todos los profesores, al custodio staff, al departamento de la cocina, del distrito, todos han hecho un trabajo excelente. Y para aquellos que no saben, hay distritos escolares que no tenían la preparación electrónica que el Distrito Escolar de Freeport tenía, y los profesores teniendo reuniones y leyéndole a los estudiantes a través de la plataforma electrónica. Es increíble. Pero yo no le voy a hablar más de eso porque tenemos a la principal, Amanda Muldowney, y a la directora de ELA, la señora Glory Engel, que nos van a dar la información and they will speak about those amazing programs and what they're doing. So I don't know which one of you wants to speak first. Mandy.
Sure, I'll jump in. Muy buenas noches a todas las familias de Freeport. Mi nombre es Amanda Muldowney, soy la directora de Giblin, ya llevo como 13 años ahí y estoy muy agradecida de estar ahí con ustedes. Yo también soy residente de Freeport, inclusive yo me gradué de las escuelas de Freeport. Aquí lo que estamos haciendo es algo muy extraordinario, pero digo con mucho cariño y con mucha sinceridad de que tenemos un equipo aquí tienen sus propios Chromebooks y ellos tienen, entonces ya esos niños han tenido mucha experiencia con aprendiendo electrónicamente, y entonces en los grados de pre-kinder hasta 4º grado también tenemos en las clases Chromebooks o iPads, que son por donde pueden aprender los niños, pero ellos ahí están compartiéndolos y lo usan todos los días dentro del salón de clase, pero no hemos tenido tanta experiencia como ahora en usarlo en la casa. Todos los días ahora, en la manera que nos estamos comunicando, es que desde el viernes pasado, cuando ya sabíamos que había una gran posibilidad de que íbamos a cerrar las escuelas, preparamos muchos trabajos en paquetes de papel y direcciones por las maestras, cómo se pueden comunicar con ellos y maneras donde para que las familias sepan que tienen manera de comunicarse con nosotros. Do you guys want me to say anything in English?
I don't want to repeat anything you said.
No,
So our goal in creating our e-learning platform was really to make things as accessible, understandable, interactive, and engaging for our students and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms and our families. I think one thing we can really do for the teachers reaching out every day through different platforms
if you call that number, we get it, even though we're not physically in the building. So, I just want to say that I think we are really moving in the right direction, and it's going to take a little time for everybody. But I'm confident that, if with that support, that we're all going to be okay. But we have to support one another. So.
Mandy, ¿puedes decir eso en español?
No, sí. Claro. Que para a mí lo que quiero comunicar de parte de todos mis colegas, y cuando yo hablo de colegas estoy hablando de los administradores, las maestras, las asistentes, todos los trabajadores en las cocinas, todo el mundo, todos los que estamos aquí, el Dr. Country, de que queremos que todas las familias tengan y sepan que se pueden comunicar con nosotros, que no hay no hay mucha excusa por no comunicarse con nosotros, porque si no tienen algo, llamando a la escuela, nosotros recibimos la llamada. Si nos mandan un email, inglés o español o en cualquier idioma, vamos a encontrar una manera de que lo leamos, porque hay personas individuales que hablamos español en todas las escuelas. Cualquier mensaje que tengan, si están pasando trabajo con una asignatura, o si necesitan comida, o si alguien no se está sintiendo bien y necesitan consejería, que por favor llamen, que nosotros para eso estamos. Y que sepan que poquito a poco vamos a aprender esto. Hay familias que están diciendo, ay, ¿cómo voy a hacer todo esto? Porque el trabajo no es fácil y la tecnología no es fácil, pero sí sabemos que poquito a poco ellos van aprendiendo, porque para mí parece que vamos a estar en esto por un largo tiempo.
Muchas gracias, Downey, por la información. Thank you for the information. I mean, I have to tell you, listen, I'm very computer savvy and so forth, but then there's also the concept that you may have two parents that are considered essential and they have to go to work. And then you have the kids with the grandparents who have no idea how to use the social media. I mean, I tell you because that has been my case. And I've been on the phone back and forth, from work, calling my oldest daughter to help the little brother and so forth. But that's what I'm saying. The teachers have been amazing, and so like what you said, Mandy, if you don't have your current teacher's information, just reach to anybody or to one of your kids, friends, that they may have the information to assist you. Yo acabo de decir que una de las cosas que pasa es que también tú puedes tener dos padres que son considerados personal esencial y ellos tienen que ir y reportarse a trabajar, y por lo tanto tú tienes los niños que se quedan en casa con los abuelos, con alguien que los cuide, y no saben manejar el sistema electrónico de la escuela y se frustran y pasan cualquier trabajo. Y yo me he pasado eso con mi pequeño. Pero eventualmente comunicándose con la profesora pasó la cosa. Asambleísta Ramos.
Yeah, I just want to mention something. Every year, Freeport School District, your board comes up and we give you a tour and we speak a lot about your issues. Primero quiero felicitar al Distrito Escolar de Freeport por el trabajo ejemplar que hacen allá. Yo sé que en este momento hay muchos padres que dependen en el free lunch, en el almuerzo gratis, que normalmente ellos dependen de eso, y ahora los niños están en casa. Y yo sé que Freeport ha tomado la reina a hacer algo con esta situación. Freeport, with the free lunch program where kids are at home and a lot of parents always depend on those meals, I know that Freeport has stepped up to the plate to make sure that those kids are taken care of. How are you actually dealing with it?
Kesh?
Yeah, sure. I think, we have launched the program last week, and certainly, we have 2 buildings that are open to do that, and the numbers are growing, every day. Like today we had the highest number of students, families picking up lunch. We had 1,098 breakfast and lunches picked today compared to 700 or 800 in the last few days. And again, partnering with Island Harvest, we were able to provide additional meals of another 420 extra meals that has a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner from either Panera Bread or J. King's. And that meal can be stored and could last for under 5 to 14 days. So we are trying to bring that part again. So I truly wish a lot more families can take advantage of that. And I'm also happy. I was very concerned about food deliveries. The food deliveries continue to be happening from the companies. So we are we're well stocked, and we have been sending robocalls every day, reminding the families to take care of it. And I'd like to urge that if there are certain families who cannot drive, one family can pick on behalf of the other families, as long as they just tell us just the kids' names, that will be fine. So in whatever way we can serve, just pick up the phone, as Assemblyman Ramos said, as Ms. Maldoni said, the schools are fully functioning. So anything one needs, whether it doesn't have to relate to e-learning, it doesn't have to relate to meals. We ask our families to reach out to us in whatever way we can help. We also have many families who are displaced, still homeless. We made sure our social workers and other staff members are absolutely in direct contact. They do all the time, but even more so now for the last many days, so that we take care of the most vulnerable families, in the district. And
my hat's off to you. Great job.
To everyone, the wonderful team here and all the community members. I know, Ms. Piñeyro, I'm sure you have questions for Ms. Jordan Avalam, and yep. After that, even before you take questions from the viewers, I would love to have some questions for Assemblyman Ramos.
Sure.
Okay, absolutely. And now, you took it away from me, Kish. we have a school board member, Maria Jordan Awalam. Nuestra concejal latina, una de ellas, tenemos tres, ella, Vilma y Gaby, y el trabajo excelente del presidente de la Junta Escolar, Ernest Kite Jr., también, que están haciendo un trabajo en equipo excelente. Bienvenida nuevamente, que todos los videntes del programa de los Vientos de Saber te conocen muy bien, María, porque te nos escapaste por un tiempecito, pero bienvenida nuevamente.
Gracias, buenas noches a todos. Me escapé por 2 años, pero ya estoy de regreso. He estado un poco ocupada, pero les quiero dar las gracias por Carmen otra vez por tenernos en el programa, y simplemente voy a repetir todo lo que han dicho todos los del distrito, porque ya hablaron mucho de todo lo que es importante, pero tenemos que acordarnos que como padre, tengo 2 hijos en el distrito también, y me siento orgullosa de ser parte de la Junta Escolar, pero también como padre no puedo pedir más ayuda del distrito, no porque soy miembro de la Junta, sino que todos los padres tenemos los mismos recursos con el distrito. Han sido un distrito ejemplar, han apoyado con todo emocionalmente, como acaba de decir el superintendent. Si necesitan ayuda emocional, las trabajadoras sociales han estado llamando a los padres, a los estudiantes. Yo sé que es un tiempo un poquito confundidos, frustrados también, porque creemos que los niños no están haciendo suficiente en la casa, o que terminan la tarea en 2 minutos y dicen ya, I logged in y ya terminé. Pero sean pacientes, es algo que estamos aprendiendo todos juntos. Ellos tienen, los de 5º grado a 12 grado tienen ya años de estar haciendo esto, entonces ellos saben lo que están haciendo, entonces también es tiempo para nosotros confiar en nuestros hijos, que sí están haciendo muy bien, son más inteligentes de lo que nosotros sabemos, y también creo que es muy importante que sepamos que la ayuda está allí. Solo porque no estamos yendo, ellos no están yendo a la escuela, la ayuda sigue lo mismo. Levanten el teléfono, pregunten a otros padres, pregunten a otros estudiantes, pregunten a las directoras, llamen al distrito, las maestras. En Google Classroom ustedes les pueden mandar mensajes a las maestras también. Y creo que todo va a salir bien. Estamos aprendiendo, como dijo la señora Maldoni, tenemos un poco más tiempo, creo, para aprender. No es algo que va a terminar en unos días. Entonces, no se estresen, no se frustren, tengan paciencia con todo y tienen almuerzos, tienen desayunos, almuerzos, ayuda mental, tienen toda la ayuda ahí para ustedes y aprovechen de eso porque no muchos distritos lo tienen y nosotros tenemos la bendición que sí tenemos todo allí, entonces aprovechen de todo eso. Creo que eso es todo.
I think it's important, Kish or Maria or anyone from the Freeport School District, if you can speak about the fact that the school district, every child was entitled to free breakfast and free lunch for the school year. Because that may be also another misconception that many people may have. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go pick it up, blah, 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 and so forth. And we just want to make sure that our children are still receiving the nutrition that is necessary for them to receive. Y acabo de hacer la pregunta de que muchas personas también no saben que el distrito provee el desayuno y el almuerzo gratuitamente a todos los estudiantes del distrito escolar sin importar los ingresos de la familia. Entonces es importante que sepan eso si alguno de ustedes puede tocar en ese sentido para que las personas no se sientan vergonzosas o no crean que no califican o deben de ir a buscarlo.
Nada ha cambiado. Lo único que ha cambiado es que en lugar de estar en el edificio que es la escuela, ahora estamos en nuestras casas, en nuestros hogares. Pero todos los recursos siguen los mismos. Todos nuestros estudiantes siempre han recibido almuerzo y desayuno gratis y eso sigue abierto para todos los estudiantes. Pueden recogerlo. Hay 2 escuelas que tienen para recoger, es New Visions Elementary School y también el Freeport High School. Toda esa información también está en el Freeport Schools website. Pueden encontrar toda esa información. Si no tienen el app, también Freeport School District tiene un app. Toda esa información también está allí, pero todos los recursos que hemos tenido siguen disponibles para todos los padres, para todos los estudiantes. Nada ha cambiado. Entonces, por eso es que creo que por eso sigo diciendo que soy tan orgullosa de ser parte de este distrito, porque yo sé que muchos distritos y muchos padres en otras partes están muy frustrados porque se sienten perdidos. Y nosotros tenemos los recursos y tenemos toda la ayuda, así que aprovechen.
¿Qué
hacen ustedes para protegerse del virus? ¿Qué hacen ustedes para protegerse del virus cuando están repartiendo los almuerzos a los estudiantes, cuando están distribuyendo todos los almuerzos a los padres estudiantes de la escuela?
Los están distribuyendo afuera, no se salen del carro. Las familias entran al driveway, así como en el Freeport High School, they go to the back and you don't get out of your car, you pick up your lunch bag and you just tell them how many you need, dices cuántos necesitas y los recoges y eso es todo. Entonces ellos también se protegen con máscaras, son guantes y están bien preparados también para eso. Es algo que creo que tenemos que ponernos we have to be careful with everywhere we go, right? No solo para recoger en las escuelas. If you go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy or whatever, you still have to take care of yourself and you still have to be careful. It's the same thing as anybody who's working at the schools and giving out the lunches.
Sí, y se están turnando los trabajadores, las trabajadoras de mi escuela están turnándose con otras escuelas, el security, los que limpian las cocinas y entonces tienen nada más que las personas que necesitan para hacerlo y también tienen que mantenerse los 6 pies aparte para que no estén contaminándose uno al otro. Y estamos, poquito a la vez, pero suficiente para poder dar la comida que tenemos que dar.
Yeah.
We're talking about keeping Dr. Kuncham about.
Sure. Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Excelente. So before I Mr. Dr. Kuncham, before I let you ask the additional questions to our Assemblyman Phill Ramos, I just also want to give an update to the Freeport community on the local government. The board obviously keeping our distance. We met on Monday We discussed various issues. We discussed the suspension of the parking meters. So it's been suspended since March 23rd until a future date. Any registration and anything associated with the car and so forth has also been suspended because motor vehicle is closed. So we wanted to make sure we let you know that. It's very important, though, that if you know of an older person that is sick or needs assistance and they are parked and so forth in the zone of the cleaning area, because we also want to maintain the community clean, so the viruses doesn't continue to spread. I have gotten some phone calls, and I know other members of the village board have gotten phone calls as to suspending the alternate side parking, and obviously for the cleaning purposes. So at this time, it's something that we're still looking into it, but we want to make sure that we keep that clean. In addition to that, we want to let you know, obviously, our police department is full force in effect, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of our men and women in our police force, as well as our volunteer firemen and women in our community, that they're, up and about. Our electric department, the Department of Public Works, and our water department, and all the other essential employees in the school district that are working. And acabo de decir que en la alcaldía de Freeport el parqueo de parquímetro está suspendido, efectivo el 23 de marzo del 2020, al igual que cualquier multa o infracción asociada con el vencimiento de la registración o la inspección de su vehículo, porque el departamento de motor vehículo está cerrado. The courts are obviously closed. If you had a ticket, and once it comes back to life, you're going to get that information. It's going to be sent to you. Las cortes están cerradas. Obviamente, si usted tenía una cita, esa información se le va a volver a mandar definitivamente. The same thing, our village numbers are working, email and so forth. So if you have any questions and so forth, you can do it. And lastly, for those of you that know me, you can go to my Facebook wall and you'll see that I posted in English and Spanish the 11 essential positions from Governor Cuomo's office and the things that you need to do. But I want to caution all my landscapers because they keep calling me. You can continue to work. However, you must maintain the 6 feet distance. So if you're not related, you each have to drive a different car and do the work. But please be cautious, as Phill is going to touch bases on that, because you may not get sick, you may not have symptoms, but you may be a dormant carrier and you may give it to somebody else. Es importante que mantengamos la distancia de 6 pies porque tal vez usted no se enferme, pero tal vez usted sea un cargador de la enfermedad durmiente y entonces usted se lo va a seguir pegando a las otras personas. So with that said, Assemblyman Phill Ramos, I wanted to ask you, is there any talk with the governor from the Assembly and the Senate as far as postponing the real estate property taxes and any other taxes for the state of New York? Because I know I've been getting those phone calls and I keep telling them, unfortunately, that's outside my purview. So, Asambleísta Ramos, ¿usted ha tenido alguna conversación entre la Asamblea y el Senado Estatal de Nueva York con el gobernador de Nueva York para posponer los impuestos sobre la propiedad de las casas y los otros impuestos que tenemos que pagar como residentes del Estado de Nueva York?
Yes. And, one thing that we're seeing, and I just read an article today, in fact, that you have elected officials calling on the governor to suspend the deadline for paying certain taxes, to pardon it for 90 days. And it's a little, like a lot of things that we see in government, this is not the time for misinformation, for people to try and, give the impression they're doing something, but they're actually not. You got to read between the lines with this, right? What they're really proposing is they're asking the governor to postpone when somebody, this only applies to people who pay their taxes once a year. Right? So, which for the most part is wealthy people who buy their homes cash. It's not something that affects our people. We need to defer taxes on mortgage, on your monthly mortgage payment for 90 days. Not only for the people who have their homes paid off or who have purchased their home. So, we heard some proposals which amount to nothing. They amount to nothing because that's all they apply to. We're going in this week. I'm going to be vocal on this issue. That if we're going to pardon people, we need to help real people. Most people pay their taxes through their mortgage, and the proposal that they're making has nothing to do with that. It has to do with people who pay their taxes once a year, which is, those are people for the most part who have their homes paid off, and that's not the majority. So we're working on that. We already we got the situation with the sick time. Ahora los empleadores están obligados a otorgarle tiempo libre si uno se encuentra enfermo. Las escuelas ya se están cerrando y como usted ve, ya están trabajando con mucho de esto, pero entienda que esta situación es muy complicado y día a día las cosas están cambiando, y entonces tenemos que modificar las leyes según la situación. La cuestión de las hipotecas, yo digo que debemos parar la retórica política en este momento. Esto es una crisis. Yo sé que hay oficiales electos que están hablando de perdonar impuestos por 90 días, pero solo para la gente que pagan su impuesto una vez al año. Esos son gente que pagaron su casa cash, gente de dinero. ¿Quién pone 300,000 a comprar una casa y solo paga una vez al año sus taxes? Normalmente son gente con muchos recursos, no son nuestra gente. Los que necesitan ayuda son la gente normal que pagan su mortgage mensualmente y pagan sus taxes mensualmente. Esa gente necesita una ayuda. Este año vamos a discutir eso, esta semana vamos a discutir eso en la asamblea y ojalá que podamos resolver eso.
Thank you, Assemblyman. Dr. Concham, I know you have some questions for Assemblyman Ramos. Thank you.
Right. Sure. Thank you. First of all, Assemblyman Ramos, thank you for your outstanding leadership representing all of Long Island, beyond your own district. And you have been a champion advocate for public education all the years. And also thank you for treating our students when they come to visit the assembly, not only the tour, but also providing them pizza lunches too. Thank you for that.
It's my pleasure.
Right. I just, I know the governor has tremendous challenges, doing a great job leading this crisis for New York. Some of the executive orders that have been coming that's affecting public education has not been so clear, and but not getting into the past. But there are kids, even like we had calls to different schools. They're thinking that they're going to be coming back next week. I don't know whether they're hearing the president, but
that's fine.
The return of the students for many more weeks, we all know is very unlikely. And the governor's executive order going up to March 31st, and today is March 25th. It's very important for school districts across the state to know sooner about the closure of schools beyond March 31st. And I hope a decision is going to be made so that students, families, and staff, everyone can really understand that we are here for a longer haul, and making sure our e-learning planning continues, and also making sure we take care of the well-being, the mental health of the adults and the students. So are you hearing anything about the closing of schools for the rest of the school year, or the least until end of May?
Well, nobody's giving any solid projections, but it's certainly going to be past this deadline that we have now. We're conferencing it this week, and then we're going to make a decision. I'm sure that this sunset is going to be lifted, and they're going to continue it because the situation is fluid. We just found out that the actual apex of the disease in New York has gone up. We thought it was going to go up to a certain amount and start going down. Now that apex number is actually higher. And then meanwhile, we have a president who's just concerned about these millionaires who want to open up their business and giving mixed signals. Schools can't rely on insecurity. You guys have a budget season coming up. You have to make decisions based on what you feel is going to happen months from now. And unless you get a clear signal from government, you can't authorize certain things in your budget right now. So it, those are things that are real important, because right now we at the state are about to pass our budget, which gives you the funding. At the same time that we've been dealing with a crisis, we're dealing with things that you've been dealing with for years. For instance, the fight to make sure that Freeport schools and many schools like it get their foundation aid up to what it should be. Foundation aid is the equalizer that puts you up to par with wealthier school districts, because we have a discrimination built into our system. So transpose on top of this crisis the fact that within a week or two we have to have a budget and resolve all those issues. So I don't see in any way that the state is going to force the schools to go back this week. It's going to be extended, but we can't give you the certainty to tell you it's probably going to be until June. It's probably going to be, because the situation is still too fluid.
Right. Thank you. If I may, one more question, Ms. Piñeyro.
Sure.
Assemblyman, very concerned about the budget. I know always the governor's executive proposal always is short by $1 billion, and it has been short by $1 billion with the state of economy and things that are happening right now and the possibility of recession already in. What I'm hearing is really the budget that's likely to be adopted is not going to be even what the governor's proposal is going to be. It's going to be even less than that. And it may be last year's or even less. So any information on that? We are very concerned how this is
to schools such as Freeport needs to be paid back what is owed to you, because there's no way around it. If we shortchange the schools still have mandates, and they have to still do their job. It's not like we can shortchange the schools and then they send the kids home and they say, well, we can't afford it. No, you still have to provide the service. But what happens? You end up taking that out of the homeowner in his property taxes, which just exacerbates the problem that we have locally. If we don't do the right thing in the state, then you have to rely on a very regressive way to fund your schools, and that's through the homeowners. Again, anybody lobbying on this, I recommend all superintendents or anybody, the board who are lobbying on this, please approach all the caucus members. We are 51 members, and all you need is 71 people, 76 votes to make anything a law. So 51 is a piece of the pie. I advise you, Superintendents Association, and the boards to work on the Black and Hispanic caucus and line up the other votes so that we hang tough and make sure we provide for our kids. Because there's no way around it. If we shortchange kids now, it's not like we can come, if we shortchange a kid who's in 9th grade now, it's not like we can come back in a couple years later and do it over. An opportunity delayed is an opportunity denied. We just hurt that kid because he had a subpar year in education. So, in Spanish, we have a saying, de que quiere puede. Mm-hmm. We find money for everything in the world that has nothing to do with the basic core of our families. We should find it for education.
Thank you.
Including bailing out billionaire businesses. We seem to find that money real quick. We need to find it for our schools.
Assemblyman Ramos, we have a question from one of our online viewers. This question is from Michelle Velasquez. She's asking, Miss Assemblyman Ramos, are there any pantries that need immediate donated goods?
Yes. Pronto and Central Isa Pacific are both, one from CI, one is from Brentwood. Those are two major organizations that are distributing food and could use any donations that you can give them.
Excellent. Nuevamente, muchas gracias, asambleísta Ramos, por su respuesta. Obviamente, aunque ustedes no lo crean, ya hemos llegado a la hora del programa. It's been an hour. We're coming to a close of this amazing show. I want to personally thank each and every one of you, Dr. Concham, Assemblyman Phill Ramos, School Board Member Ms. Jordan Awalam, Principal Amanda Maldoni, and Director of ELA, Glory Engel, for your time, for coming on the show. My co-host, Socario, who amazingly was very quiet today.
Too many people, too many exciting information.
But I, from the bottom of my heart, and I know my sentiment also comes from every member, not only of the Freeport community, but the adjacent communities, the community of Brentwood, Bayshore, Central Islip, and the state of New York. As I was getting text messages from other states that they're like, man, you guys are doing a good job over there. But I also want to say thank you for coming here and making sure that every resident and every person that sees this show, and we're going to be able to share it, understands that our schools are still functioning like if the schools were physically open, and that all the services are still there for our children. I know before we close, and any one of the Freeport School District members can answer this, I know I've gotten a few calls about members of the community that were concerned about those also what are we doing for our homeless children in the school population. So yo acabo de preguntar antes de cerrar el programa nuevamente que es importante que sepamos qué estamos haciendo con aquellos estudiantes que las escuelas son el vehículo de protección para ellos porque vienen de familias disfuncionales, de familias abusivas, y qué estamos haciendo para la población estudiantil que es desamparada.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you, Carmen, for that question. Our philosophy always, under this crisis or otherwise, every child matters. And all the situations that you have mentioned, including our newcomers into the country, English language learners, students with disabilities, every child, every student, every family, we have been in contact. Our social workers, our psychologists, our entire pupil personnel services under the leadership of Dr. Helen Kanelopoulos and many others, we are continuously in contact, continuously monitoring and providing every service that we can do remotely, even some virtual visits, virtual mental health services, and our health clinic, and also our partnership with Northwell. They are also in operation virtually. So just a phone call away, but even otherwise, our staff are on continuous touch with every student and every family. And yes, there are few we have not been successful. That's the gap we're trying to close. Sometimes individuals, change their numbers or their SIM card, whatever. So we just gathered some few families we were not able to contact. Some families have moved, is what we have also heard. So we're trying to make some home visits with caution and care.
Carmen, just to give you a sense of, like an example, we're in touch with the teachers constantly, and I had a teacher who said that one of her students was feeling very sad because they heard that the father left the family. And she was in touch with her. She was feeling very sad. I have a great relationship with that kid. She walks around with me every single day. At the end of dismissal, I called that child up and I talked to the family. and asked her to put her on the phone, and it cheered her up. And, you know, those kinds of things, I think that really personal communication, and we are like really, we're just extra more careful. Did I say that? I didn't say that right. A little more extra careful with a population who any teacher previously had any concern that there was something going on with that child. And we, you know, as a matter of fact, today, that was our conversation with teachers. You focus on the kids who you're not really having any contact with. That's who we want you to focus on in the next couple of days. And so there is a real concerted effort to reach those children, because they're
Carmen,
important.
También es muy importante saber que Dr. Helen Cowan-Apples, que es la directora de educación especial y de todo eso, ella está trabajando muy cerca con todas las trabajadoras sociales de todas las escuelas. Entonces, cada escuela sabe que ellos tienen que llamar a los padres, a todos los estudiantes que necesitan esa ayuda extra. Y también este es tiempo perfecto para las familias llamar a los distritos, a las escuelas, para dejarles saber si han cambiado su número de teléfono, si han cambiado de dirección y todo eso, para que estén siempre en contacto, porque sí han hecho llamadas y no se pueden comunicar con los padres. Entonces, si usted no ha recibido llamada, quiere decir que algo no está correcto, porque las llamadas han salido casi todos los días, sea un robocall o sea como dije, en el app también. Pero si no han recibido llamada de una maestra, es que quiere decir que ellos están tratando y algo no está bien. Entonces, asegúrense de llamar a la escuela o a la maestra y asegurarse que ellos tienen su información de contacto correcta.
Y si hay alguna familia que sabe de otra familia que están pasando trabajo, que ellos mismos llamen y nos den esa información.
Carmen, I think that's important that, you know, we as adults keep things positive for our children at this difficult time. I mean, they look to us to feel that everything's going to be okay. We have to let them know everything will be okay. We've gone through worse, especially in the Latino community. We've gone through a gazillion obstacles and crises and had to reinvent ourselves and had to figure out a way out. This is just another bump in the road. We will get through. We have to keep our sense of humor as well. You know, as Latinos, we find humor in everything, right? Angela was telling me just today about the crisis that's going to happen about a month from now when some of her friends start to deactivate and they haven't been to the salon in 1 month.
That's a real problem.
There's going to be another crisis coming, and that the doobie is not going to cut it at that point. You know? We have to stay positive. We have to find humor in this, and it's important that we stay steady and that our kids not see us upset at what's going on now. That we confront this. This shall pass like everything else. We're going to change our ways after this. Sometimes God has a way of waking us up about things. And that's what's going to happen. But this will pass, and we will be better off for it in the end.
Absolutely. Again, thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for coming to Los Vientos del Saber. La audiencia de Los Vientos del Saber le da la gracia a cada uno de ustedes por venir al programa. The Freeport community and all of us say thank you for the information, vital information that you brought us tonight to the show. Muchísimas gracias. Hasta el próximo miércoles. A la misma hora por el mismo canal. Muy buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Yeah, please stay happy and healthy. All right, now.